Yeah, this is an interesting situation because, as you mentioned, he is the longest tenured coach there, and you associate everything with Oklahoma State football Barry Sanders and all that with Mike Gundy and what he was been able to put together. And it felt like this team went through phases. That they went through phases of like being one of the best teams in the Big 12 to being in the middle of the pack, and then this past couple of years really, really being down. And Gundy is a guy that he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's an emotional guy just in general.
Yep.
He's talked about what he thinks from a politics standpoint. He talks about what he thinks about from the NIL standpoint and everything else. And he obviously goes to a school that was, at the time when T. Boone Pickens was alive, that was so well funded. And I don't know what's going on with all the finances there now and how it will relate as we jump into the new House settlement rules and how they will relate there. But Oklahoma State just seems to have been falling slowly, and it felt like a death by 1,000 paper cuts more than it did with Brett Pry in Virginia Tech, where it just felt like the house was on fire immediately.
And when you look at this, I mean, I just pulled up last year's schedule. They started the season with 3 straight wins, and then they ended on nothing but losses. Several enough where you sit here and go, okay, how did you escape that year with your job? You don't win a game, and you beat Arkansas, and we know what Arkansas is.
Right.
No disrespect to what Arkansas is not. But I think that there's twofold here. One, obviously, just the trend of where you're at. The fact that Mike Gundy is an old school coach. This is a new school football game.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so if you're not an old school coach willing to get in on the new school football game, you're probably an old coach looking to go sit on the couch. Or play a lot of golf, like Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, now Nick Saban was certainly not pushed out. He made the choice to leave. Right. I mean, that's everyone knows how that played out. But Mike Gundy, he was stubborn. He is stubborn. It's part of his aura. It's part of who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his hair, right? I mean, the guy's stubborn. So he is a figure in sports. They eventually said, hey, this is the time to make the change. And part of that has to be twofold. One, the loss to Tulsa, which is like right up the road. That's not pretty.
Right.
And then you look just a little bit beyond the road, and you see Oklahoma now in the top 10.
Yeah, and just last week we were talking about a quarterback who was at North Alabama, and then he went over to UCF to just be a student, and then out of nowhere he became a quarterback on Mike Gundy's football team. That was less than a week ago, Simone. And it just
I completely forgot about that. I swear to God. When you started talking about that, I was like, what the heck is he talking about right now?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God. We did have that conversation with a guy
Holden
holding cruise mark.
Yeah.
They literally went and said, like, hey, Ann, you played JV ball a couple years ago. Anyway, any chance you can come out here and just come and revive this real quick?
Were you throwing footballs with intramurals? Come on over here. Come on over. But
walking over and it's like, hey, dudes, and hanging out.
And it seemed like, okay, back in 2023, this team won 10 games. I knew it was recently. 10 games in 2023 and 12 games in 2021. It just felt like this team, they just kept hitting a ceiling. And it just like they couldn't ever get past that. And that's what I felt like. And obviously when you're somewhere more than 15 years, I think there is something with the school. They're like, hey, we have this loyalty to you. And you hope that those people just walk out very quickly and slowly into the night. And Gundy, as you mentioned, he's not that guy.
And Gundy, I think that the part of this, the timing of this, and him not really getting to go out as this figure is that Oklahoma State, the calendar of what we're doing in recruiting, the situation in trying to, I mean, heck, maybe for them is to flip a roster. Maybe they're trying to say, guys, get out. I mean, who knows? What they were trying to do, though, is trying to disassociate from Mike Gundy with this move. And I don't mean like they're going to go like, kick him in the dirt and like he's never going to be talked about and there's like some big bad blood. It's just Mike Gundy can't be Oklahoma State football anymore.
No.
And that's what he's been for 2 decades.
Yes.
And that's not going well anymore. I mean, everyone loves Mike Gundy, but they also love winning. And so that has to take place. Eventually, when the rubber meets the road, it doesn't matter how much you like a guy.
Especially when you see yourself as one of the caliber teams that can compete in a conference now that has been weakened because there's no Oklahoma and there's no Texas.
No doubt.
And they already lost the Oklahoma game as far as Bedlam goes. They don't have that game anymore. It just felt like this program just needed a shot in the arm.
Yeah.
And Simone, we do this every time in the offseason when there are coaching vacancies. You rank the jobs. What are the most attractive jobs?
So right now, the 3 that are open.
You have Virginia Tech. You have Oklahoma State. I mean, to me, those are about similar. It depends on the money.
And then the other one, I can't remember what it is, so clearly that doesn't matter.
Who is that? Who's
out west.
They're Power 5, Power 4.
It's UCLA.
It's not UCLA.
UCLA.
I lied. That's a decent job. Well, it depends on the situation.
Yeah. No, UCLA, they are in a decent place.
Except for the fact they have to travel across the entire country to play in their conference, which I think just is going to
But
anyone that supports that, I'm adamantly against that until I die.
It's awful.
If you are at UCLA, you live right in the middle of Bel Air. I mean, it's an expensive place to play and an expensive place to live.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're
overshadowed.
Your next door neighbor is the Trojans, who have a much longer history, a much more successful history.
And nobody really cares about college football over there.
No, they don't. They care about the Clippers and the Lakers more than they care about
You're dang right. They ain't worried about
and their little brothers
and everything else.
Exactly.
I mean, they're not worried. They are not really worried about football there. I mean, Nico. I am Liev and
I'm Aliva.
I am leaving Knoxville and leaving him in a better place now with Joey Aguilar. Found that out really quickly, and so there's a lot. It's a lot, and so anyway, college football as we know it is a changing situation. It's a changing landscape, guys. It's one of those get right or get left quickly. And honestly, I don't think it's it was just one of those. Probably this is time for Gundy. I haven't read a lot of the ins and outs of what people do, their takes and things. I maintain that you have to disassociate with how things are going, the trends of what a program is like. If it's not trending in a direction that is going to be successful, be able to retain not a roster, but the people who spend money on the program. Right. That matters.
Right. Yep. And to answer your question from before, Kirk Ferentz of Iowa. He's been there since '99. That's the only other tenured coach. Yeah. The longest tenured coaches. And I knew there was one out there that could not. And I was like, Bill Snyder's already retired.
I know
just set the wins record in the Big Ten. For head coaching, I'm pretty sure.
Well, at some point, if you're there long enough, well, if you've done it for 100 years and you just win it just a couple of years, you're gonna have enough.
He's been there for 100 years and he's seen the Iowa Hawkeyes score 1,000 points.
Is Kirk Ferentz a good coach or is he a compiler? I think he's a compiler. He's just there long enough to where you get the wins.
Are we coining that term? Did you just make that up or did people use that?
People use that a lot in baseball when guys just stick around for
forever. We're using it now.
Compiler.
I really love
Kirk
that.
The compiler.
The compiler. Are you just there long enough to just have the stats? Listen, that's part of it, guys. No question.